Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. And this week, the special, amazing stature of the co-host of Cigar Talk, Brian Falconer.
Why do you do that, dude? Why do you do that, man? It's like you get enjoyment out of it. Like, seeing me over here just cringing like, oh, you quit. God.
Like, earlier, I was like, how are we going to say here? How are we going to, the tones?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And he's like, I got him.
Thank you for,
I'm doing good.
Thank you. Good. How's your week been?
Man, it was good. It was good, man. It was good.
So, I hear rumor somebody's a homeowner.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it, bro.
It's always good.
Yeah. Second round.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
wife is excited.
Yeah. It'll be her first round.
Happy wife, happy life.
Nah, bro. Happy spouse, happy house.
Hey, whatever. I was looking at the big picture.
No, because I got to be happy too. Sorry.
So, tell everybody what you're smoking.
Man, I am smoking a Christoph Signature Series. As you see, I've been smoking on it. Man, this stick is amazing, bro. It's amazing. Thanks again, Sean.
So, I am smoking a special edition Habanero cigar. You can see that right there. This is the first time I've ever had this one.
How is it?
Dude, it is good. When you smoke those cigars that people ask you, it's just good.
That's all you can say. It's just good.
I mean, this draw started out at the gate good. That's my. We were at the lounge earlier today, and Bill was bitching. You were there.
Yeah, he was.
And Bill was bitching the whole time he smoked that cigar. He's like, "Draw is tight."
You said, "Well, try this." And he's like, "Oh, that's great." He said, "That's how that's supposed to be." Well, let you see.
And then show everybody what we're drinking, Big.
Oh man,
Big B.
100%.
We got the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. And that's one of my favorites. You introduced me to that one.
Oh, man.
I mean, first of all, you introduced me to Woodford Reserve. Mm-hmm. And it's solid.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
And then they step up a tier.
That is stepped up. Yes. And then who was telling us about
that? Was Ed.
The double.
Yes.
I'm like.
And then he said they sell it in a smaller. And then you look at the price. I'm like, damn, for smaller.
And it's the same.
It's the same, but it's 94 proof.
But it gives you the opportunity to drink the next level up and not spend crazy money.
Amount. Yeah.
Instead of having to spend 130, you can spend 60.
Like 60, 70.
Yeah.
And understand that Woodford Reserve makes a quality product.
Oh, absolutely.
Quality, bro.
I gotta look something up right here.
He's going there. But how is that stick? You just said great.
It is really good. And you know what? I thought it was going to be stronger than it is, which is good.
Yeah.
Because, I don't really smoke a lot of powerhouses that want to knock your dick in the dirt. But
there with the PG-13 then. It wasn't me this time.
I think that's PG-13.
To who?
Me?
To a Labuckian?
I mean, you know what I'm holding back over here?
Man, you do know that Labuckian is now a word people use. We had a Patreon come up, Roger.
Oh, well, let's look. Okay, after you tell this story.
And we were talking, and he said a word, and I was like, that's a weird word. He said, well, I'm channeling my inner Labuckian. I was like, oh, yeah.
So, dude, I was so disappointed that I wasn't able to hang out. I sent him a message today, and I was like, first of all, Roger came by the shop. He had this awesome trip that he made, and he brought us Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare.
Man, and I mean, when I walked in this, and you know what's so funny is I told you he lied to me. Because he said, hey, you want me to pick you anything up? And I said, hey, man, you don't have to, but if you stumble across some Eagle Rare, that would be awesome. And so when he gets over to Kentucky, he texts me and says, oh, man, I can't get any. And I was like, oh, okay. Hey, no worries. I wasn't expecting anything anyway. And then I walk in today and you're sitting there with Eagle Rare and I'm like, where the hell did
And that's
you
exactly
get
like
that?
you look, you're like, where the hell did that come from? I was like, Roger. He was like, Roger. I said, yeah. He said, he got it. And then that's when you told me the story. I was like, yeah, he got you, bro. Because when I walked in the other day, he said, I got something for you, but it's for you and Rob. Don't let him know. I was like, oh, and he pulled that out. I was like, ooh.
Hey, if I would have been there, he would have been like, Can't give it to Rob.
Can't give it to Rob.
It'll be empty.
Brian and Larry will not get it today. But it was, I mean,
hey, Roger, thank you.
Oh, man, he came up.
And he told me you two spent a couple hours talking
Too many hours. Cop talk, cigar talk. It was the community. Larry was sitting there with us, having a conversation, and Larry had to punk out on us. He had to leave. But it was a reason why. He had already stated the reason why he had to leave. But it was cool, man. That's what I love.
His Uber showed up.
Yeah. Your ride is here. Leave me with the keys.
So, well, that's awesome that you got to visit with Roger.
Sir.
And you know what we should do? We should go down to Fredericksburg.
Oh, we got to.
Let's do a show down there and go down there and meet up
at that B&B, man. What's it called? I can't remember the name. Something on. Don't get mad at me, Roger. I forgot the name of it, but we'll find the name out, man.
He's old like we are. Yes, he knows about
our age. Yes, yeah, he does. So. But it's just that's what we want. That's what we strive for. That opportunity whenever we can meet a member, a Patreon, or someone that listens to us, to sit down and have those lounge conversations, man.
Dude, getting to know those guys is like the experience that you want.
Oh, come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on now.
It's like, I don't know why anyone would want to smoke with us.
Tell
but
the truth.
I love finding out about people.
Oh, yeah.
All walks of life.
Because everybody has a story.
Yeah, and I mean, you might have one guy that's a doctor, another guy reams out buttholes of dogs, for pet.
That really took it away from us.
All walks of life. You know what I'm saying?
It was so funny. It's like this morning, you remember Ed was talking about his rim that was messed up. And who was that said, just tell him you want a rim job? I'm like, no. And Ed got this look on his face like, really? Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Yeah. When you go into the place and you got a bent rim, tell them you need a rim job.
I was like, you can
see Ed. I think I need a rim job. So
that's life, man.
Dude, we love it. And we had a great time this morning. Ooh. Today, we had the opportunity to have Bill Kalame.
Yes.
That's what I always say.
No, you don't,
Anyway, Bill was there. And for you guys that don't know, he was the former owner of the Leaf.
Yes.
And long history there. And Bill's like 140. So he has a lot of backstories to go with everything.
I think he'd be mad if you call him 140.
That's double his age. I think he's 71.
Yeah.
Is that right? 71. Yeah. And so anyway, just being in the cigar business, 20 years ago.
Yes.
Dude, how many things have changed versus 20 years ago, 25 years ago? And like, we don't even know as much because we weren't hardcore cigar smokers back then.
And the conversations he had with us today, the knowledge he was dropping, he was like, man, you got to come on the show. He's like, nope.
Yeah, but I'm going to get him on the show. I got to get him on the show.
Even we got to sneak it.
Well, what we should just do is just show up.
Jay said, yeah.
all our stuff at his house.
It's just not, we're here. But it was a great conversation this morning. He dropped some nuggets on us, and we was like, wow. Some names he dropped. He's like, and they used to have this, and we used to sit back, me, you, and Larry both Googling, trying to see, what the hell is he talking about?
He was talking about the original Camacho.
Yes.
He went to the
home,
the factory,
yes,
and down at the home in Honduras. That was a great story.
He told us this. I was like, wow. He said the guards.
Well, I mean, there was military police
everywhere. He said he get to the house, and then they have a special house that what was his name? The kid, the one that's running it now. It's not the father.
Well, he got bought out by Davidoff. But before then, it was Erico.
Something like that. I don't know. But he said it's the house that he built.
That's the Lubbock version. Hey, who is the owner of Camacho?
Before.
What?
Before.
Who owns the silo?
Station break. He said, Jay doesn't remember. So that means that Bill has some knowledge there.
All I can tell you is it's Justo's brother.
Yeah.
Because Justo is the dad.
And Julio
No, there's no Julio. I made that up.
Where the fuck you get that from then?
Justo, I think it's Justo, is the dad.
So where did Julio come from?
I think it was Sanford's son.
Yeah, he did live, but he was Puerto Rican.
Right. Dude, did you love Julio?
Dude, and
Julio
the goat.
was so
And
funny,
the goat.
dude. Yeah.
The goat.
Because he would just take Fred's insults
And just move on.
and be like,
Same thing with Pat Morita when he was on there. He'd just take him and say, oh, Mr. Sanford, and just roll on. But Lamont had a problem with everything.
yeah.
Come on, Dad. Come on,
He
Pop.
was,
man.
you know, he's a typical kid.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, Bill being at the shop was a great treat today.
Too much.
It was really awesome. And so, anyway, guys, let's jump in real quick to who our sponsors are. We got a new sponsor.
Talk about them.
Tabanero Cigars, right out of Ybor City, Florida.
Ybor. I'm glad you didn't Labucky.
What'd I say it?
No, I said I'm glad you didn't Labucky.
Well, you know, I said not long ago, Ybor.
Yeah.
Someone was like, Ybor, you moron. I was like,
That's not how it's spelled.
hey, all right, at least I can pronounce Ybor. So, anyway, they are out of Ybor City, and all the rollers at the shop are from Cuba. And they've been rolling cigars for, and
Since birth.
Yeah. And dude, so far, all the draws on these cigars have been perfect. I didn't say draws.
He did say all the draws. So people like us, like, he's talking about underwear. There's his mind again.
But let me tell you, dude, I am in love with these cigars.
I thought you were going to say the draws.
Well, I do like the draws. But no, dude, you know how a draw is like so important to
It
me.
is, man.
I mean,
straight out the gate, that defines the race. If I got a bad draw,
I mean, it's like getting in a car and you crank it and it doesn't start. That's what it's. No, if it just doesn't, it's
nothing.
dead.
Kick.
It's like that's a tight draw for me. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
I'm just not doing it.
I hear you, bro.
So anyway, check out the link down below in the show notes. And I'll show a picture right up here, right over here of the cigars. But anyway, go check them out, man.
I got a problem with you in these pictures now.
What do you got a problem with?
Man, I'm not Fozzie the Bear. I'm sorry to interrupt the sponsorship right now, but he put Fozzie the Bear's head on me. It was funny, but it ain't funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I know you would
Do you
think
remember
it was
the conversation?
Yeah, because you said
I'm tactical. You're not tactical.
You're a Muppet. And here comes Fozzie's head. Okay. All right. I'll accept that for right now because there's nothing I can do about it. It's there.
I'm the editor. And I told somebody the other day, I was like, Brian has no idea all the stuff I put in there.
I know until it's too late. Me and my wife are sitting there watching it on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, man. She's like, she falls out laughing at it.
Well, good.
I'm like, it's not funny. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
We want to keep Miss
Falconer
happy.
I got
Yes.
you. I got you.
And hello, Tiffany. So,
what about our next sponsor?
well, we got Micallef Cigars.
You tried that new one yet?
No, have you?
No. You got him yet? That ends that. He has them.
Well, let me tell you something. Like Bill today smoked a cigar that was a tight draw. He didn't enjoy it. He wasn't happy with the experience, and he was like, "What do you think I should get next?"
Here it comes.
And I was like, "Go get a Medallia."
Yep.
The 6x46. Anyway, he went back there and got it, and he was like, "This is how draw should be."
Yep,
and I was like, "I'm telling you, every freaking time." And then after he smoked, probably getting into the second, third, he was like, "That's a damn good cigar." And I was like, "Yeah, that's one of my go-tos."
And
It's like, and I said, it's consistent every time.
And that's the thing about it. Bill is a pipe man. He's a pipe smoker. When he has something great to say about a stick, it's a good stick.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a good stick.
I mean, he smoked cigars for,
ever.
I mean, professionally.
Say professionally. Hey, I want to join that crew.
Right.
I want to get paid to smoke cigars. But
that's just, I mean, when Bill signs off on a cigar, you know it's top notch.
And he signed off on that Micallef today.
Yeah,
that medallion.
And look down in the show notes, and there's a link for Micallef, and you can become an ambassador, get your own coin.
Yes, sir.
I think I got mine right here, right there. Boom. And become part of that family.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's basically the community is almost like family, you know?
It is family, man.
You got your Facebook group you can be part of. The ambassador family gets firsthand information about what's happening, what's going on ahead of everybody else.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's really a great thing that they do that you should probably be a part of.
Most definitely.
And then we got Case Elegance. I mean, dude, in fact, before the show started,
yes, you did.
I read an email to you because I got an email from Evan Baker, and Evan Baker sends me an email today, and I'll paraphrase it. Basically, he got a Case Elegance humidor, and he was fiddling.
It was whack.
Well, no, before he was calling them and, bugging them, he said, and, he was like, dude, they were so patient with me and they explained everything I needed to know. And then later on, the hygrometer was acting up.
Whack-a-jawed.
It was whack-a-jawed. It was not showing the same thing. It was flickering.
Yeah.
And so he called them up and they're shipping him one right away. No charge.
Right now, here you go.
Because that's how their customer service is.
They take care of the people.
Every time.
Yes. And that's not sometime. As you said, every time.
Right.
That's what they're about. So Sean put a post up on Instagram with his bag, the man tote. and I'm looking at that, I was like, that's a bad bag, man.
That's a bad bag.
Man. Woo. That's something you carry around and you feel manly carrying that bag around. And when you said you got one, I was like, he gonna look Bucky in it. But I see you doing it the same way. It's
Dude,
an accessory.
When you grab that bag,
you know you're moving.
Yeah,
you know you're moving,
and it's just so good looking. Oh, and that leather, dude, it is nice.
You couldn't see his hands then, but
dude, it was nice.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, it's like buttery smooth. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna leave it alone.
All right. So anyway, look down the show notes. You can connect to Case Elegance. They've got a new travel bag out, and dude, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. They got one that's tactical.
I'm not going there.
Come on, Fozzie.
Nope.
So anyway, then they've got watch cases. They've got cigar accessories, cutters, lighters,
everything.
They got everything. And the thing about it is, dude, when you find a company that has customer service and backs up their stuff,
yes, sir,
that's who I want to do business with.
Quality stuff, and then they back it up.
And if you use the code cigartalk coin, you get one of these. You know what? I'm going to take it out, Chris. This plastic thing is a little
shiny. It gives it a funny. You look like a kid at Christmas. I'm tired of it. Just ripped it open. There you go.
There it is on one side,
and then
you flip it over. It's got our logo on it.
Cigar Talk.
Anyway,
baby.
Cigar Talk coin.
Yes, sir.
Order something from them; they'll send you one of those too.
Yes, sir.
Limited order.
Yes, sir.
And then we got
the house,
the
home.
The house of the holy. No. The house of the smoky.
The smoky.
We've been in there. It ain't holy. But anyway, like we said, we hung out there all morning.
Yeah.
And into the early afternoon.
The thing that got me was Roger, when he came up, he's like, he had traveled the East Coast, went to 10 lounges. All
the way to like Maine.
Yeah, went to 10 lounges, came back. He said he had never seen a cigar shop, a lounge like that in his trip or before.
And he loved it.
And he said he kept hearing us talk about the humidor. He said when he actually walked in there and looked, he said, ooh, they weren't lying. He said, this is long. There's stuff everywhere.
You know what, Jay? I need a picture of the humidor from the corner. You have one from the security camera, but I need a high-res one, please. because I want to show people
the truth.
Because
we keep saying.
I was going to post a picture that I had, but it was real grainy, and I was like, you know what? That doesn't do it justice.
No,
you got to see it in all of its glory.
Yes, sir.
Because it is something.
Whew. You walk in that door, you're like, damn.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw that picture, I was like, dude, that's such a... And you know how many times I've been in there, and I still was like, that is so beautiful. That is so nice.
It is, man. It's the Leaf under Jay and Corey has set the bar. I told him about that Padron. He set the bar too high. With the Leaf, he set the bar too high now.
No, not too high. Because you know what? If you think he's done it too high, he's going to take it even higher.
And see, that's the thing
Jay.
about him. But see, the point is, who else going to do it but him?
Right.
He's sitting there now looking at us like, where else could I add?
Could you imagine if Jay owned the studio?
Oh, we already know that, because when he comes around, it's already cleaner.
Because you know,
he wasn't even here to clean it today, but he got here and it was cleaner.
Hey, so you guys at home can only see this part.
There is one of Rob's new words. There's a plethora of other things.
There's a bit of a mess over there,
and there. But it's just it's a different world when you walk into the Leaf,
dude. Man. Yeah, and I mean the people there are great. The staff is great. In fact, I told Scott today, I was like, "Hey, man, can you come by tonight and be on the show with us?" And he was like, "I can't tonight." And I was like, "I want to get you back on the show soon, because from the last time that we had him on the show to now, he has grown so much as a tobacconist. Like, he's always been good because he's got that work ethic, but now he knows his shit.
Tell the truth.
Dude, when I ask him on a recommendation, I mean, it's just like...
Lil Bucky.
Well, I almost said rectum.
Oh, that's even worse. I'm glad you didn't. Keep going.
So when you ask him for a recommendation, though, it's like, you know, it's going to be a home run every time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and the funny thing is, he knows what I smoke. So when he recommends something, he doesn't recommend something that I smoke.
Hey, you want a leather rose?
No, but I mean,
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
He's not just going to give me something that I had yesterday.
He knows your palate. He knows what you enjoy, and there are things that we don't know about that are in that humidor,
or forget about.
Yeah, and we like, man, just like what I tell Jay, just surprise me. He'll come out with something. I'm like, damn, he did it again,
dude. And I
did it again.
Well, you know what? That's on my pick 3 today, so we'll get to that. Well, anyway, let's jump into that. Oh, before we get off of Jay's Leaf.
Oh my God. I can see the visuals now. People are like, what did he say? So he's on Jay's what?
The Leaf. So anyway, I'm not going to jump into that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's reel it in.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump into the pick 6.
All right.
No. What I was going to say is look down the show notes. You've got Jay's phone number. Call him up, and he will hook you up.
And what's that address again?
1166 North 2nd.
Yes.
Abilene, Texas.
We got it.
What's the zip code over there, bro? 79601.
Yes, sir.
So, and let me tell you, I know a lot of guys that order through Jay, and every single one of them goes on, dude. Like John Price thinks you're like the second coming now. Something like that.
Yeah, they went there. I'm glad that wasn't on camera.
So anyway, yeah. Jay will take care of you every time.
Man.
And so if you need cigars, hit him up. And he's got other stuff too. I mean, he's got pipe tobacco pipes. He's got lighters, cutters, accessories, everything.
Beard oil.
Beard oil and soap.
You go in there, you can find. If it's dealing with a man, you probably can find it in there. If it's a manly thing, you can find it in there.
Gotcha.
Beard oil, beard soap. What else? What else you got in there, man?
Sodas.
Yep.
Coffee.
The coffee.
Great coffee, too, by the way. I mean,
free mints and chocolates.
Always free mints and chocolates.
So you don't walk out the door with that. that dragon.
And dude, that's a nice touch. That's really a nice touch.
They're right there at the door.
I've
too.
actually had a piece of chocolate right before I smoked a cigar, and it's a great experience. Really is. And then I love the wintergreen as I'm leaving
out the door.
to kind of cleanse my palate a little bit as I'm heading out.
Back into the world.
I'm sorry for everyone who doesn't have the opportunity to go to the Leaf every day. So anyway,
So sorry.
let's jump into this week's Pick Six.
Got you, bro.
So I'm going to go first.
Oh, Lord. I get to rest for a second.
You surprised?
Everybody's surprised. There's folks listening like, what? Rob?
So today, earlier, I smoked the Crown Heads, the Buckeye.
Yes.
Great stick. That's number one. And dude, I cut that, did the cold draw, perfect draw, toasted it. The aroma hit me. It was nice. And then, dude, it's just a great stick. The whole stick just smoked all the way clean through.
Gotcha.
And then I had an Intemperance.
You showed that one to me. Yeah.
Dude, and it's not a Lonsdale and it's not a Lancero.
What is it?
Because it's like a 6.5 by 40. And
that Intemperance.
It's a 6.5 by 40. Anyway, great Vitola.
Yeah, because you was talking
I don't even
about
know
it.
what you call that because it's in between those two. And dude, it's been a long time since I've had an Intemperance, but that Vitola I've never had. And it was really good.
I'm going to try that one out.
And then I'm going to wrap up my choices this week with the 1922 Libijou.
Get you.
Dude, and you know, I am so much on the Petite Corona.
Yeah.
That is the size for me in that particular cigar. You know, I used to love the Torpedo, but for me now, I find that that's just too much bold cigar. You know what I mean?
Okay.
By the time I'm done, man, my next cigar I'm not going to be able to taste.
I got you.
But that Petite Corona, or no, it's a Petite Robusto, and it is so just the perfect amount of smoke for that strength.
Small pack. Dynamite and small pack.
Yeah, it was great, man.
Gotcha.
So what do you got this week?
My first one is the 2012 by Oscar, the Connecticut Short Robusto.
Oh, wow. Good one.
Gift from Sean.
Yeah, I smoked that. It's a great stick.
It's a great stick, man. Oh, bro. There's no denying when you smoke that one by Oscar, it's just like, okay, this is a good stick. The next one was another present from Sean. It was the Dunbarton's Tobacco and Trust Palpetta.
Oh, yeah. Great stick.
I smoked it and I hated because of the Vitola that it was in. I was like, I want more. I want more. But I was like,
I'd never smoked that one before.
Me neither. And I was like, I got to find these. And my last one, I smoked another Rocky Patel number 6.
Really? I saw you posted a picture.
I'm not a big Rocky fan, but that stick there.
You like that stick.
Yeah,
I
like
think
that
it's
stick.
good.
I
It doesn't really knock me.
Bruh. That's you.
Right. We're all different.
That's your palate. With me and mine, that's the Rocky Patel that I like.
Okay. I personally like the Rocky Patel Maduro Edge better.
I don't.
And it's a cheap stick.
You say so, and it's a cheap one.
Well, I mean, you know,
we know we're blue collar.
$7 range.
Uh-huh.
But I just thought I just think it's a better cigar.
That's on you.
It's to me, it's more flavorful.
That's on you. Rock it the way you want to rock it.
I always
he couldn't
do.
say nothing.
I always
Oh
do.
my gosh!
Well,
and that was just a small statement.
Yeah, but sometimes what you think is I didn't have anything. What I thought to myself was you probably shouldn't say that.
That's even better. That's even better because we know what you can say. Hence, I lost of the PG-13 rating earlier. But in the end, great sticks this week.
Oh, yeah, good sticks.
Great sticks.
And you know what? We've got Jay from the Leaf in the studio with us tonight, and he is going to come back on, and he's going to give us the cigars that he wasn't able to give because he had some things going on that he wouldn't be able to get back on the show. But now he's going to come back and give everybody those mystery stick list of the top 100 that was not named.
Not named. Unnamed top 100.
The unnamed top 100
his portion.
sticks.
His portion.
Right. So anyway, we called him and was like, hey, man, can you get back on the show? We still would like to have your list, too, because when you give lists, I want to smoke them.
He's like E.F. Hutton. When he speaks, people listen.
Everyone listens.
Everyone listens.
Yes. All right, man. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging through the break. We have Jay Patterson from The Leaf. He's going to share the cigars that they were supposed to be on the top 100, but they didn't make it because Jay had to go to Hawaii or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but we're glad you made it back, Jay. Thanks for coming tonight, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. It was an intergalactic space travel voyage that we
got caught up in.
Make peace.
Gotcha. Cool, man. Well, hey, we're glad you're here tonight, and we had actually some people ask about, your list. And so I had a lot of people that were excited to know what your portion of the list is. And I told them that we would have you on as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
It's been like 2-3 weeks. So thank you for coming right back.
Yeah, absolutely. And to those listening that were looking forward to the list, I apologize. Life happens.
Yeah.
And if in the last 24 months you didn't realize that you have to be flexible, I mean, then you got a short one left. So
right.
Yeah, but unforeseen circumstances, but I'm back, and
You have the list.
The list.
I
have what's most of my remaining list is 25 and 6 honorable mentions.
Awesome.
Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely. Dude, this is Must Try Cigars. I want to know all of them. So
you probably smoke most of them.
But you know what? You never know.
I'll share them with the crowd.
Awesome. Let's get after it. What's first?
All right. And this is, again, in no particular order. This is as I'm reflecting upon my overall experience. These are the cigars that I think others must try.
Okay.
So, leading off the pack here, again, no particular order, Perdomo ESV Sungrown.
Oh, great stick.
Yeah.
Great stick.
It's nice. It's
rich.
It's rich, but it's not a Nick bomb, and it's not just bland.
When I say rich, I mean it's like when you smoke it, you're getting the top quality leaf of tobacco. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just tell it's a rich, flavorful stick.
Oh, absolutely. And we probably have a whole show on Perdomos.
Oh, absolutely.
And, matter of fact, I think you and Pat connected, and at some point,
yeah, we're going to get him on the show.
Have him on the show. Yeah, that'd be freaking awesome. So, number 2, and this is, I had to go back and listen to a couple of shows because I wanted to make sure that Zeka didn't say this one, but he didn't. So my number 2 is the Micallef Herencia Habano Toro.
Oh, good stick.
So he had mentioned the Maduro Toro.
Right.
I think people should try the Habano Toro as well. Like, in addition, the Maduro's great. The Habano has... I'm more the Habano guy. Yeah.
To me, the flavor profile is much more of a roller coaster ride compared to the Maduro.
I would say accurate. And knowing that it's a Habano, you already have a presupposition to understanding what kind of flavor profile you might get.
Right.
So Habanos typically being, as we covered in a previous show, it's Cuban seed but grown elsewhere.
Right.
And so traditionally it carries with it a lot of spice, like baking spice.
Yeah, baking spices, not the peppery spice.
Yeah.
But it's a great ride.
Yeah. And so what I like to tell people and how I sell it in the humidor is if you're to get a fresh baked loaf of sweetbread and then you cut off a slice from the middle and then you put it in a toaster oven and you just eat it plain, you get that toasty, semi-sweet flavor note to it. It's nice.
That's accurate.
Yep. And that's it.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Thanks for coming by.
Number 3. Ready?
Yeah.
Let me get a sip real quick. This Woodford Reserve is amazing.
Double oak.
I know this is Brian's jam, and his jam is good. Never question Brian's jam. So number 3 on my list is the Home 2021 by Dissident.
Now,
Oveja Negra.
is the Home 2021 different than the original?
I'm going to be completely transparent with our listeners and our viewers. I was gifted an original Home by Ben.
Yes.
Remember this?
Yes.
You were upset at some point because
he's a dick.
Right. So.
No, I'm just kidding.
At some point, I was aging it in my travel case, which you saw that it's kind of full. And
a little bit.
From time to time, if you catch me on the right day, when I'm cleaning out my travel humidor, hang out for a bit, you're going to end up with a bunch of aged sticks.
Dude, his travel humidor, I'm just going to guess, has 150 cigars in it.
I have no idea. And to be honest with you, there's a bottom layer that I hardly ever look at.
You don't ever get down that deep.
I can't, because if I dig
you
down...
got to take them all out.
Yeah, exactly. And so they've just been sitting in there. There are probably original rolls of Romacraft in there, unbanded originals. But, so anyway, I gave you my original Home. I don't know if you remember that. I gave it to you to smoke because you were upset that there was this great cigar and you never heard back or you never got any more. And
I couldn't get one.
Yeah, I had one. I was like, all right, I'm going to give it to
So
Rob.
you didn't smoke the original?
No.
Oh, well, thank you, first of all, but you really owed it to yourself to smoke that. Because I've smoked the new one, and I don't know, if it is the same or not.
It's probably not. Crops change, situations change at the plantation,
Yeah.
at the farm.
I mean, it was a good stick. It's a great stick.
It's a must try.
It definitely, and it's very rich also.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that double wrap, the wrapper.
Yeah, the barber pole.
The
on
barber
there, yeah.
pole. And I mean, when you look at that cigar, it's a beautiful stick.
And it's a box press, in case anybody was curious. It's a box press Toro, is what at least we have. And it's just a very good medium to full smoke that is not too over the top. And like Rob said, it's very rich. It's really dang good. But probably not as rich as number 4.
Oh, okay. What you got for number 4?
Number 4 is the Romacraft Cro-Magnon Blockhead.
Whoo.
So essentially, it's their box press Churchill from the Cro-Mag line. Now, I will say this. Fun side story, at least for me. Have you had Early Times?
Oh, yeah.
So they were bought out
You
by...
brought it over here.
Yeah. So they were bought out by Buffalo Trace before Buffalo Trace was bought out by that Japanese company.
Right.
So, Mike calls me, Mike Rosales from Romacraft calls me and says, "Hey, do you have any Blockhead?" And I said, "I do. I came in last week." He goes, "Those go so fast. Those are my favorite in the Cro-Mag line. I never get a chance to grab some before they leave the warehouse." I said, "I'll send you some." He goes, "All right, just let me know and I'll pay you for them." I said, "Oh, I'll just send them back to you." So I did that. And you know what he sends me in return?
What?
Early Times.
Oh.
It was the first time I've ever tried Early Times. And again, till this day, I think it deserves a cork, but it's a screw top.
I agree 100%. And you know what else deserves a cork is the Old Forester. Just the regular bottle. That should be a cork bottle as well.
Yes. Yes. There's, and by no means are we bourbon or Scotch snobs.
No.
But there's just something aesthetic and tactile about removing a cork than unscrewing a cap.
When I unscrew a cap, I automatically like, this is not going to be good.
Sets the tone for the experience.
Yeah.
And I'm an experience-driven guy. And
it's like when you have a cigar and you do a cold draw and it's tight.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's not that bad. I took it a little too far.
Well, I mean, but fair.
But it changes the experience.
It does change the experience. And then, I take what you say with a grain of salt because it depends on what's the foot like. Are you smoking a Perfecto? But I know you cut the toes off. And so, of the figurados.
Now, yes, I do that. I want you to try this. I don't think you've ever had that.
All right.
Have you?
The Christoph signature suit? No.
Oh, Sean brought that.
Wow. That draw.
And do a little retro on. Oh, that's all you get it. Ooh.
That's good.
Isn't that good? We would love to have these in the shop.
I'd love to have those in the shop. No way. There's secondary notes in there. What is that?
Isn't that nice? I call that rich and deep. Rich and deep.
Guillermo, I'm going to call you. What's it
Have
called?
you ever seen one of these?
I've not.
So I used to pick these up whenever I was in Lubbock over at Smoker's Haven. Last time I was in there, they didn't have any. So I don't know how readily available they are. But before COVID hit, they had them at Smoker's Haven.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and this is where we have to be flexible. People are people. Also, we live in an industry that is just a natural crop, right? And so when COVID happened, I know that a lot of people are feeling the effects of back orders. We are too. But
you've done a very good job mitigating that as much as possible.
Yeah. And
I really have seen that.
And what's very important for consumers to realize is we love certain sticks, right? And we love it because of the flavor, because of the draw. But when we look at it broad spectrum, it's because of the experience. We love the experience this particular cigar gives us.
Right.
If manufacturers rush a product to the market,
the experience changes or it's not good.
You'll get the same stick, but not the same experience.
Right.
And then it just taints it from there going forward. And so...
Jay said taint.
It taint good.
Different definition.
Different kind of taint.
Gotcha.
All right, what number are we on? 5?
5.
Number 5. Ooh. So number 5 is the CAO Brasilia Amazon. So we have 3 sizes, or there's 3 sizes that I know of in the CAO Amazon line. There's the box press, the Gold, and the Amazon. The Amazon is more of a box press 660.
Okay.
No. Sorry, mea culpa. That's just the 660. The box press is the box press. That one, to me, is probably the most unspoken cigar in our humidor right now.
Really?
It is rich, smooth, slightly sweet from the natural aging of the tobacco, and it is...
And that Brazilian leaf is... I compare that to like a Costa Rica.
Yeah, you get a lot of...
It's like a sweetness to that wrapper that you don't get on a lot of other cigars. Not like an infused type sweetness, just a sweet, you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. And it's hard to communicate when you say sweetness. First thing that pops into the mind is infusion or application of sweet. But people need to know, and I'm sure everybody that listens smokes enough cigars to know that as a plant, it takes on photosynthesis, which is the combustion of different sugars.
Sugars, right.
A plant has sugar. And so when you age the leaf and those sugars come out, the process in which they do this for these particular leaves brings out a sweetness. And that's why you pull notes of coffee or chocolate. It's not because there's coffee or chocolate flavoring. It's that earthy tone plus the amplified sugar content of the tobacco. And so that sweetness, your brain is trying to figure out what it is.
How long they age it and what processes they put it to bring out more or less of those flavors. And then when they blend them together, they're like just playing with nature.
Right?
Genetics.
Don't you just want to go to like a factory, have a run of the mill, and just make different blends?
I would love to do that. It would be fun.
I would like to do that, but not have to pay for it.
Right. Let me try some of that. Give me that bale over here.
It's like, what the hell? What is that hanging up over there? Just give me some of that.
Have you watched the Davidoff documentary?
Seed to Smoke?
Yes.
I saw part of it.
Dude, that was intense.
Padron made one too.
I have not seen that one. Yeah. Is it good?
Yeah, it's very informational. I think just the editing in itself is worth watching.
The Davidoff documentary, I had to skip. Like when they were talking in the conference room, I didn't care nothing about all that. I just wanted to see the farm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was, and the aging process, the rolling, but I didn't care about what they were doing inside. So anyway, what you got next?
All right. Next, I got the Padron.
Oh.
1926 number 9.
Oh, yeah, that is a must try. And I'm going to say right now, if you've never smoked one, your expectations need to be that this is a cigar that you're going to have to learn. The first time you smoke it, you're going to be like, well, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people are going to probably be like, yeah, it was okay. You know, it was good. But then you're going to want to smoke it again. And then you're going to be like, okay, yeah. I got a little more out of that.
I was wrong the first time.
Yeah. And then the more you smoke it, I mean, after probably 5-6 times, you're wondering when I'm going to smoke another one.
Right.
Because it's a home run and it's just so unique. You know what I mean?
I know. And I remember you sharing that story with me about when you first smoked one.
I thought, man, I wasted $30.
Yeah. So it's one of those that not necessarily an aficionado, but somebody that has smoked enough cigars to develop a primitive palate will pick out like there's something different about what's going on here.
And it's so unique.
Yes.
Like I've never smoked another cigar that I thought, oh, that tastes like the Padron 1926 Maduro.
Right.
Never. I've smoked other cigars and been like, oh, that's kind of like that stick, you know?
Yeah.
But no, you don't confuse the Padron line with other cigars because they are unique.
Yeah, the 26, the 64, and the Family Reserve, there's a proprietary step in their production of their leaf that is hidden from everybody else outside of those in the know. I'd like to know.
I'd like to know too.
And
wouldn't it be awesome if they did a documentary?
If they did a documentary, well, there's
no way they would.
There'd be no way.
Yeah.
Like I can't call them up and say, I promise I don't know how to make cigars. I'll never make cigars.
Yeah.
I just want to know what's going in. You know.
Wouldn't it be cool if they did a tour?
For one reason or another, I thought they did a tour.
Oh, well, maybe they do. I don't know.
They might.
I've never heard of anybody that went to one. So I've only heard of like the Perdomo, the Camacho.
It might be that a lot of folks that go on these tours, because a lot of the factories, the headquarters, are on the same strip. And at least in I believe, Nicaragua, they're pretty much on the same strip. And so you got Roma Craft over here. You got the Nica Sueño. And then across the street, you got AJ Fernandez. And then down the road, you got, some other cigar manufacturer. And so they're just lined the whole road. Up.
Yeah.
And so I just assume maybe it's just that I heard that, oh, yeah, we passed by the Padron factory.
Well, the Padron factory tour it's a once in a lifetime opportunity because at the end of the tour, so you don't give out any of their secrets, they kill you.
Once.
It's like when you're like 87 and you're about to go.
You're about to kick it. You're like, I'm done. I've accomplished everything else. This is how I'm going out.
I want to go on that tour.
Peace.
And they give you a 50th on your way out.
Oh, nice.
Have you smoked one of those?
Not the 50th. I've had the 45, the 46, the 9, the number 1, and the 80th.
Oh, yeah. And the tube? Or is that the 90?
No, that's the 90. The 80th is more of a Solomon or a Perfecto cigar. That one is it's very stout.
Okay.
And,
I don't think I've had that one then.
very rich. It's the only 1926 that we have in our humidor that is celloed. And I don't know why they do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They cellophane their 80th.
Well, you know, I had the good fortune to have a 50th when I was in Lubbock a year and a half ago at the Smoker's Haven. I was playing poker with all the guys.
Oh, yeah. You posted a picture
And
about
I
that.
smoked that one. That was it. I've only had that one. And I tell you what, it was delicious.
Good. I'm glad.
I normally would not spend $50 on a cigar, but sometimes you want to try it.
Didn't you just win?
Okay.
Yeah.
I did win a lot of money from the guys I was playing with at that game, but I wanted to put the money back into the shop, and I was like, you know what? I never had that cigar before.
That's what I like about you. No matter what you're doing, you're contributing to the B&M.
That's right. So, all right, what you got next on the list?
Next is we'll throttle down a little bit, but stay with that nice flavor profile, similar to the Micallef Herencia Habano Toro, and we'll go with the Joya de Nicaragua Red.
Whew.
So that one.
I don't know that. Is the band have red on it?
Mhm.
I don't know that cigar.
It's just a red band.
I know the black and
It says
gold,
Joya.
which is
or
the
J-O-Y-A.
Joya del Monterrey.
Yeah, no.
No, that's
Not that one. Now, here's a fun fact, is that I've smoked several of those, and I enjoy them, and I never could figure out what it is that I'm tasting. You know how you're smoking a cigar, and your brain is trying to figure out these flavors, and it's not a tobacco-based flavor, and so you're trying to pinpoint something in your experience throughout your life that it tastes like. That's
right.
so
You're
familiar.
looking for that comparable flavor.
You're trying to compare with what you know. And so every smoker has a presupposition to, this is what I bring to the table, and then your palate is just going in overdrive trying to figure out what the hell is tasting. But it wasn't until Bryant had mentioned, ooh, I'm tasting graham cracker. I was like, I feel like an idiot. It does taste like graham cracker.
Wow.
So it is a Habano cigar, which is why it brings out those baking spices.
Right.
And so the as soon as he said it, I was like, I'm dumb.
You had it right there on the tip of your tongue.
Exactly. That happens more times than not, and I hope I'm not the only one.
No. I think, except for like what you consider super palates.
Yeah.
And there are people out there that have them. One of the Patreons, Kyle, he has one. So he says.
Kyle, I'd like to know, what does lemon zest taste like? What the hell is that?
You don't know what lemon zest tastes like?
No.
You never ate like a pie with lemon zest on top?
What is that?
They take a lemon and they take a grating thing and they grate some of the outside of the lemon. That's zest.
The peel?
Yeah.
Don't
Just little fine pieces.
I thought you'd throw that away.
Well, I mean, you normally do, but if you want to zest it, you're just getting little fine shavings of it. Yeah.
At this point in the show, I'd like to
Resign.
disclose to all of our listeners that I'm just a humble, stupid man from Hawaii that's never had lemon zest.
Oh man, I love lemon zest.
There's a lot of things. Like I don't even understand why you would shave mushrooms. Just eat them whole. Like why would you truffles? Like why would you shave those? Just eat them.
You mean cut them?
Yeah. Or don't they shave those too? I think I saw some shows where they shave truffles or truffle shavings.
I don't know anything about that.
I didn't even know truffles were mushrooms. I thought those were chocolates. That's, again, I'm from Hawaii. We don't have these fancy things.
Give me some bamboo.
Some spam and bamboo, and we got it. All right, next. We got to pick it up here because we're going to run long and Larry's going to get mad.
No, he said we're good.
We're good. Okay. All right. Black Label Trading Company.
Yes.
So this is new to our humidor.
Since when?
A couple of weeks.
Have I had what you're about to say?
You might. Yeah, I think you did.
Okay.
It's the Salvation.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we were talking about that this morning with Bill. He's had that because I recommended it to him. And then I believe that's what Ed was smoking earlier this morning. And because when they came in, I was like, I haven't ever had the Salvation. The other day I had the Last Rites, also a great stick. Mm-hmm. But the Salvation to me is the one that I'm like, first of all, if I can buy Salvation, I'm going to get it every time.
Yes. And so we liked it so much. Spoiler alert, the Humidor's Oveja Negra cigar section is going to double in the next few weeks.
Really?
So we're bringing in the Toro size of Salvation.
Nice.
There's a limited release that we're bringing in that only comes out in August. And one that I'm excited for is the Lawless line.
I've never smoked that one.
Neither have I.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
And so what we typically do is we'll bring in a new line. We'll get the most commonly smoked introductory size. The Vitola typically is a Robusto.
Which is great for me because that's really my favorite size these days.
And it's easy for people to come to grips with buying. If it's brand new, it's something they've never experienced before. You're like, well, it's small. So they'll be more apt to try it. And so what we do is we bring in these Robustos and then we analyze the sales
and see what people like.
And we see what people like. And then if the whole line's taking off, we grow it as quick as we can because it's stupid not to.
Sure.
And so with Oveja Negra, it's blowing up. It's one of the boutiques that I was talking to Scott earlier. I said, I really wish I could fit this in near the other boutiques. And he said, I think it's perfect where it is. It's right here by the door. I
right.
said, you know what? You're right.
And I noticed there's been some shuffling going on. In fact, today I told Scott, I was like, who's been, I'm trying to think of another word, but
effing.
Who's been effing rearranging the cigars that I've been buying?
Did he raise his hand?
And he was like, man, you got to rotate things, And I was like, I found it. But yeah, because I was looking and it's like up 2 rows and over just a little.
And the reason is for
expansion.
For the expansion.
I like it.
So whenever you see something out of place in this new humidor, things are about to change.
I like things being mixed up a little bit because it helps me find things that I don't normally see. Right. Because, you get into a routine when you walk into a humidor. And it's not because I don't want to look at other sticks. It's just like when I walk in, I know I'm going basically straight over there to where the crown heads are.
Right.
Because usually the first stick I look to see if you have is the yellow rose.
Right.
Because I don't want to run out of those. And then I make my way all the way around. But I just totally shoot past the front section.
Yeah.
The Arturo Fuentes, the Alec Bradleys, and then I get to the crown heads. And that's where my tour starts. And so sometimes by the time I'm back up to the front, I've already got all that I'm going to get. And so I don't get whatever's on the front.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect
sense. But if I
sense.
go into the front first, I'm like, oh, although today I did that same circle. But I mean, here's what I've got today. I got the Buckeye, the Intemperance, and the 1922 Lee Bijou. So there's my pattern.
The flight pattern is the same.
It's a good pattern.
It's a good pattern. No, but everything you said just makes sense. In the old humidor, we would rotate stock out of necessity. The humidification required that we rotate bottom to the top and then cycle it up and down. And
now, what was that for?
That was to make sure that each row had the same opportunity for humidity.
So now you don't have to worry about that because it's spot on.
For the most part, yeah. So the sensors that we have placed around the humidor, it shows us on those I don't know if you noticed those digital
No.
pads
No.
throughout where we work. So those digital pads tell us the ambient humidity
I
and
have
temperature
seen those.
of
Yeah.
the humidor at all times.
I got you.
And so we can choose from 3 different zones, and if any one of those zones drops, it starts beeping at us. We haven't had it beep at us since the polar vortex.
Wow.
So it's pretty safe to say that we can keep it how we want, and now if we rotate it, it's out of desire rather than necessity.
Awesome. I didn't know that was why you rotated back at the other place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was something that somebody had brought up, and it made a lot of sense. And so...
and to be fair, the humidification system you had at the other place was nowhere near what you have now.
It was like 1 Cesio.
Right.
No.
And a couple of fans.
And it did an adequate job. Bill had employed an adequate job for that size of humidor.
Right.
And when we nearly tripled the size, we had to think of something a little bit more beefed up.
Yeah. Well, what you have now is, you don't even notice it. It's just perfect.
Perfect. Good. I'm glad.
Pour me another one.
Do it. All right, so number 9. Number 9 is the Rocky Patel Vintage 1992.
Is that the maroon band or the light tan band?
It is the maroon band.
Okay. I've smoked a few of those, and I've always thought, you know what? It's good, but it's not one of my favorites. And I know every palate is different, because and to be fair, I've smoked about 5 or 6 of them over the years. But, it just comes down to I'm not a big Rocky fan.
Well, and not a lot of people are.
Except for that ALR.
ALR?
Yeah, the one with the cursive on it? Yes.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? It's in the Cigar Rights of America pack.
Oh, right. And we have some of those.
I know you do. I saw.
When people come in and they're like, you got any Andalusian bulls? I'm like, I got 2. Can I have them? Like, you got to buy these 2 packs. There's 1 Andalusian bull in each pack.
Right.
Yeah.
That's got some great sticks in it, too, by the way.
It really does. Now, the 1992...
Hey, pull that down about 2 inches. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Now, the 1992, it's one of the first of the vintage line that I've had that I went back and smoked again.
Well, I would say this, too. Don't let me bash on it, discourage you, because as a younger cigar smoker, I do think it's a must-try cigar. It's a staple across different brands that I think is a must-try. Mm-hmm. It's just not one of my go-to sticks.
And I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
At all. The
now raise it up.
Yeah, when I'm looking down at the list, it's like
you're like an Oompa Loompa.
Maybe I just hold it out here. Okay. Number 10. You ready?
I am.
This will make up for the 1992. Hopefully.
I'm not complaining.
You're so mad. You're Paul mad.
Right,
Larry?
I'm enjoying a signature series Christoph. I'm feeling no pain.
All right. Well, the number 10 Must Try Cigar is out of Dallas.
Ooh.
Definition Cigars Conception.
Now, is that the blue?
Nope, maroon.
The maroon. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more the Cameroon green.
It is their first anniversary cigar. It
Really?
is so smooth. And it is the cigar that sold me on Definition Cigars.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to revisit that one. The maroon one.
As soon as we get them back in.
Okay.
Yeah. According to Neo, we have a bunch coming in.
Are you smoking them all yourself?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
Maybe. Brian's smoking them all. No, the conception is grown in the Ometepe region of the Jalapa Valley. And so it being closer to the volcanic area, the soil transition or the soil components inform the actual plant what flavor profiles it's going to have. And it's very rich. It's dark. When you ferment the leaf, it becomes so dark, but it is not a nicotine bomb. It just releases these flavors that are smooth and slightly sweet.
And I think that's when you know you're smoking something special.
Yeah. And what gets me is, why doesn't everybody do that?
Well, right. Hey, I'm going to take a quick break here and we're not going to quit recording. I just want you to look at this signature series and take another puff or two off of it. Look at that wrapper. Is that beautiful?
That's a beautiful wrapper.
And look how much you've seen. I've been smoking like a train over here on it, and I'm still on the first third.
You are, and I've been smoking this Tabanero Edición Limitada, and I'm about to hit my last third.
Nice.
And we lit up nearly about the same time. But that is
take a puff or two off of that.
Look at the oil sheen on
I
there.
know, and those seams are like sweating oil. That's nice, isn't it? I want it back.
You get this one? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Isn't that nice, though?
That is very nice. What is the origin of that wrapper?
I know nothing about it other than this is only the fifth one I've ever had.
I was just joking. That's just a super pretentious thing to ask. What is the origin, the genus and species of that plant?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was grown on Earth.
Uh-huh. That's a good start.
That's about the knowledge of this cigar I have. But let me tell you, if you can get your hands on some of these, let me know.
Will do. Number 11 is the Plasencia Alma del Fuego. It's
Red
the
band?
Red band. Now, the reason I chose that one over the Fuerte,
Yeah.
over the
Alma Forte.
Mhm.
Salomon.
is because
Well, yeah.
those
go
are
ahead.
great need to try cigars,
Right. But
they were mentioned before.
True. Then, because the Salomon to me is a home run. I love the Alma Fuerte.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. You might not know this. I've never smoked the Red Band Plasencia.
Really?
Every time I see it, my hand reaches up and then it goes,
whoa. Way over to the side. Yeah.
I just, it's like when I'm reaching for a Plasencia, I love, because I, cut my teeth on these when I first started smoking better cigars, was the original, the, what is it, Cocheca 145 or 146?
146.
And then the Alma Fuerte.
Yeah.
I just fell in love with those 3.6 from them. So when I'm reaching for something I haven't smoked yet, I'm like, ooh, let's get this.
And you know what? The original should be on this list. It's a great smoke.
It is a great smoke. It's much milder. It's, it's a subtle cigar. It's not anything that's going to jump out at you. But when you smoke it, it's just smoke it. When you mow it, I said, when you smoke it, it's just an enjoyable cigar. It's what a cigar should be. Especially, you're right. It should be on this list. I'm going to go ahead and put it on this list. Boom.
Okay.
Done.
Boom. Done. Yeah. The original is, it's a good landing pad to start the takeoff into Plasencia.
Yes, it really is.
It'll end up with the Alma Fuerte, but the Del Fuego is a good medium, mid-range. So if you're already an experienced smoker and you want those transitions and you want to try Plasencia, I would recommend.
Yeah,
Del
I got to
Fuego.
ask you. So I smoked the Habano, but it was the 6-sided whatever. And, that's like a 6x60, I think.
It is. It's a.
And, I don't really care for that Vitola. Do they make the Habano in a different Vitola?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
I haven't heard of that one being made other than the Sixto.
I smoked it and I just couldn't enjoy it because it was just so big.
Yeah.
So.
It is. It's quite large. But if they expand that line, we'll bring them in. But
I would love to have something smaller, you know.
It surprises me that they don't have it. Like it didn't mirror the exact Alma Fuerte.
Right. That's why I asked, because I thought maybe they did.
Yeah, because you got the Alma. The only other 6 though is the Alma Fuerte, and so you would think that these Habanos would.
And they have the same box, the ashtray box.
Yeah, but yeah.
Call them up.
Call them up. We'll roll them ourselves.
Tell them.
Invite us to the factory.
Tell them Jay Patterson needs to talk to whoever's in charge.
Tom, I need to go to the factory.
All right, what do you got next?
But we don't want to pay for it.
Oh, wait. Back up. Let's talk about that Plasencia that you brought up. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, the that Plasencia. Let me go back to it. So the Alma de Fuego. So whenever we brought in Plasencia initially, we had the goal of making sure we have the Fuerte. And then in the past, because
originally you started out with the original.
We had
the Koshek 146.
The 146, yeah.
Right.
And so we knew those sold. But I had experience at the Silverleaf, the Alma Fuerte.
Right.
And so whenever we were meeting with our rep for the first time, he had showed me their profile. And I said, what's this red one? And they're like, oh, that's a good mid-range. I said, well, I need that because I want the base, I want middle, and I want high. You know, I want to cover all the bases because if I bring in a cigar that's new, I want to make sure that I have something for everybody.
Right.
I don't want somebody to feel left out from trying something new because either it's too bold or it's too bland. And by bland, I mean...
mild.
Very mild.
Right.
And so I want the different profiles. So the Del Fuego has some spice to it. It's a solid medium.
I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah. I would recommend. There is...
now, what Vitolas do you have of that?
The Vitolas we have, I think what you would prefer is the Robusto. We have something similar to a Toro. And then we have... it's close to a Churchill.
Okay.
But I think the Robusto would be perfect.
I'm going to be by tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
We open at noon.
I'll be there. What else you got?
Okay, so next on the list, the Micallef Grande Bold Mata Fina.
We were just talking about that stick not long ago. In fact, Dan was on a herf with us not long ago. And we were talking about the Mata Fina. And one of the people on the herf was like, I don't care for the Mata Fina. I really like the Sumatra. And Dan made a good point on the Mata Fina. It's one of those cigars that you either love or you don't. And it's definitely a must try because for those of you that will love it, it's a stick like no other.
I'd agree. Now, the Mata Fina for me, it goes well, and I don't know if I'm a regular cigar smoker, honestly. Like if you put us in different categories, I'll smoke a Mata Fina first thing in the morning with some coffee.
Right.
It goes well with a medium to dark roast, and that's just a nice casual way to just open up the day before it happens to you.
Well, let's dive into that statement you made. You don't know if you're a regular cigar smoker.
Yes.
Here's the way I would analyze it.
Okay.
Let's say we were on a deserted island, just the two of us, and they dropped enough food for one person and enough cigars for one person, and we're standing together in the middle.
Yeah.
If you start stepping towards the cigars, I kill you.
What the hell are we talking about?
What kind of a smoker am I?
Gotcha.
Psychotic?
Probably. I would have said, hey, go grab the cigars, I'll grab the food, we'll bring them close together, and then we'll parse them out.
Fuck the food. We're not going to live that long anyway, or at least me. See, well, I'm much older than you, so I'm going to enjoy.
I'll take the food because I can always sell it for cigars.
No, there's no one else on the island.
I'll sell it to you. You're going to be hungry.
Okay, fair enough. All right, what you got next?
All right, next, I got the Trinidad Espiritu.
I've never smoked that stick.
So this is a 100% Dominican cigar.
Okay.
Binder, filler, and wrapper. It's got a sweetness to it. It's a medium body cigar.
It's not real strong.
Not real strong. It's a medium body cigar. And it's a cigar you could smoke every day. But I gotta be honest, and this is just me as a consumer, I don't think if history repeats itself, I don't think it's going to be financially feasible as something to smoke every day.
Okay, so it's a pricier stick.
It's getting to be a pricier stick. And again, that may be indicative of where the industry is right now. But
isn't that all sticks? I mean, that's just the nature of the beast.
Right. The nature of the beast currently, and Scott and I have to take this with a grain of salt. We're battling price changes almost weekly. And the problem is we like to think that we have a global understanding and we understand why things are being more expensive, but at the same time we have to try to forecast and decide, is this temporary to account for the increase in these overhead costs, and can we eat that
right
and keep this affordable?
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because I had a discussion with Scott today, and we were talking about that kind of in a different way, but the amount that the shipping to you has been costing as
God.
You know, the logistical nightmare in America continues.
Yep. And
so he was even telling me that sometimes y'all have had an order and the shipping costs more than the order.
Yes.
And so I told him, I said, well, then that means the prices of those cigars have to go up. If you, I mean, because you can't eat that much overhead. You can't. It's not feasible to keep the doors open.
It's not. And that's where we have to try to forecast and be in direct communication with our reps to say, hey, is this temporary? Is this what it's going to be going forward? Now, the problem is we're just a small shop in Abilene, Texas. You got the rest of the world to contend with. If the rest of the world decides, okay, yeah, that's the price, and start paying it, then the distributor is going to think, well, crap, we can make this much money.
Right.
And so the small guys get shat on.
Right.
With these increased charges. And so at some point, there's no choice but to change those prices to offset that cost. And so what Scott and I spend a good amount of time trying to figure out is, based on what our correspondence with our reps are, do we feel that this is lip service or is it really temporary?
Right.
To where for the interim, we can eat these costs and keep the experience as pure as possible for our consumers and our clientele and our friends. It's our friends and our family that's coming in here.
Right.
Like, we don't want to
You're not trying to gouge anyone, though. We know that.
Right. And we willingly stepped into this role as owner and manager. And so we're not in the mode to shrug off any inconvenience of extra charges onto consumers. What we want to see is how much of that punch can we take?
Right.
And then how much can we expect our friends and family to absorb?
Right.
And so, for the most part, and I don't know if I'm doing it right. Again, I did not ever go to business school. I'm a theology major. Like Tim. No,
Bill.
Like Bill. I'm a theology major. I did not go to business school. I'm trying to learn this on the fly. And I think, ultimately, if you treat people the way you want to be treated, and you honor the people that come in with the same honors that you would expect, then then you'll be doing something right. The problem is consumerism and capitalism. Those things are just...
It's a dictation.
It's a dictation. I'll tell you what. If there were no taxes
Right.
on things, taxes, we could do a whole show on taxes. And I would just say, Rob, let me bitch for a bunch of minutes, and we go on with that. But just in a nutshell, we are blessed in Texas.
Yes, absolutely.
We are absolutely blessed in Texas. If you have friends in California, ask them to go to a cigar shop and ask them what cigars they have, and then compare that to the current Texas prices. You will see a disparity because taxes. The shop can't eat that much. There's so much punches the shop can take before it gets knocked out. And so Scott and I are at this point where, amidst COVID, we're taking all these blows, but we can take them. We've positioned ourselves to where I think we'll survive if we take a little bit more. And that's credit to what you've done with the Leaf, because your community also has a level of understanding. Yes.
That's where we want to be.
Yeah. We never want to just hike the prices up. And
you don't hike the prices up because you want to make more money. You're hiking the price up whenever you are required to, because the prices dictate that that's what you have to do.
Right. And that's something that's been instilled from Bill. Like, you guys hang with Bill all the time, and he gives you guys a bunch of tobacco and cigar information. For me, he gave me a lot of business information.
Yeah.
One of two things that really stick with me. Speak to this is I was in the office on 1.0 or 2.0, sorry. We're in the office, and there was a price change alert that comes up in his email, and he's very mad. And we talk about it for a while, and he leans back in his chair, and he says, "You know what, Jay, we're here to make money. We're not here to be greedy. I want you to remember that." And I remember that. That's one of the things that stick with me. We have cigars that we can sell for $80 a stick. But no, I'm not gonna, because, and people that are business savvy will be like, "You're a fucking idiot." But we're here for the experience. We're not here to be greedy. We're not going to gouge anybody. We're going to survive, and we're going to do as much as we can to keep the experience the same.
Well, it makes me think back to an interview I had with a certain cigar company owner. And I told him that we won't let just anyone sponsor our show. We're very dialed into, is this a good company? Do they make a good product? Do they have good customer service? And if you don't meet the criteria, we're not going to allow you to be a sponsor. And he said, "You're leaving a lot of money on the table." And I was like, I'm not going to promote something that I don't believe in, period. That's not who I am. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate that, because I think that's the community. It's not about, I mean, everybody's got to make a living, I understand, but at the same time, you're not trying to screw the community that you love.
Right. And it goes back to, if you make it to the top, are you reaching up, or are you pulling somebody up that's below you?
Right.
You know, if you make to the next rung, are you helping somebody else, or are you just focused on
kicking the people below you so you can keep climbing?
Right. And I don't know. I think we're doing okay, but I don't even know how we got on that tangent.
That's just the way it goes, man. You're on Cigar Talk.
The way it goes, son.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to have another drink.
All right.
Hey, you got another one for us?
Yes. All right. So this one, and I got a shout out to Big Tony. I'll call you.
Oh.
Big Tony, I'm going to call you.
I was just thinking about Big Tony yesterday, thinking, I want to get him back over here.
Yes. So Big Tony, for anybody that doesn't know the name, he reps for Espinosa. So my
long time in the business.
Long time. My next on the list is the Espinosa 601 Habano.
Great cigar. Great cigar.
Big time.
And that's a Habano that does have some strength.
It does.
You know, a lot of Habanos are more of the medium plus. That one ramps it up a little bit.
It does. And when you look at it just off of the ocular inspection of the cigar, it looks real dark. It looks overwhelming.
It looks oily.
It's not, though. The complexity will ramp it up on the back third to a medium full, maybe just full, depending on your palate. But the flavors, and that's the big thing for me is, okay, it can be strong, but flavorful, and those are two independent rubrics to judge a cigar by. And so what you have is, with the Espinosa 601 Habano, you have all these flavors, and they're very rich and bold, but you're not getting dizzy because you're getting nicotine poisoning.
Right.
Yeah.
It's full flavor. It's not full nicotine. Now, how's that Tabanero treating you over there?
It is very well constructed.
I see you down into the final third.
Look at that final third.
And it's still burning very pretty.
Well, yes, look at that construction.
I mean, that's nice.
That's nearly a razor sharp burn. And,
on the final third.
On the final third.
And most cigars, when you get down to the final third, you're just happy it's still burning.
Right. And mine went out because I think I talked too much. But you are absolutely right. The construction... Sorry. The construction does play a big integral role in the experience. Yeah.
Bad construction, bad experience.
Absolutely.
That's the way I see it.
That is the way.
I mean, to me, it's a 50-50. The construction is 50% of it, and the blend and the tobacco is 50% of it. But if it doesn't have good construction, I can't enjoy it if it's a great blend. You know what I mean?
Yes. Because you're working too much.
I don't want to work.
Touching it up, or you're...
And I don't want to work.
Yeah.
I just want to relax and enjoy a good cigar.
Bingo. That's the experience that you're looking for. If you say you have a crappy job, a lot of us do, and I get that. I had a bunch. But if you have a crappy job and you smoke cigars, you want to go smoke a cigar and just decompress.
Yes.
You don't want to work more for that experience. Because then at the end of it, you put work in, and you're like, what the hell did I do?
I don't work for these people. I paid for that stick.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one thing that really chaps my ass on bad construction. It's like, and you know what? I get it. On occasional, you're going to get a bad stick. It's a handmade product.
Right.
But when companies just keep putting out bad construction cigars, then you know it's about the greed.
Yeah. They
don't care about you.
They're not there to make money, just to be greedy.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, what else you got, brother?
All right, next. All right, this is number 15. So we're closing in on the top 10, or, again, no particular order. I don't know why I said top 10. It's no particular order. This is just cigars I think
that you should try.
As Jay Patterson, you should try. And this one is for those that have tried the mild cigars. You want to try something a little bit different. You want to step into a cigar that has more transition points, a little bit more flavor profile, but it's not going to make you dizzy and put you on your butt.
Okay.
La Gloria Cabana Spanish Press.
Dude, I don't think I've ever had that stick.
So that stick, it's got a nice floral sweetness to it, so it makes it pleasant on the palate.
Okay.
It is a solid medium cigar.
I like.
It burns really well because it's a box press.
Very nice.
And for the price of the cigar, it's very affordable, at least here in Texas.
Right.
I guess now I have to...
You have to preface that.
I have to preface this.
In Texas, It's cheap.
Here in Texas, I'll tell you what, America. In Texas, America, It's affordable.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to try that too.
Yeah, it is. So
right now I've got the Plasencia Red Band.
Yeah.
And
La Gloria Cubana.
There you go.
The Spanish press. That is.
And you're going to send me that list so I can put these in the show notes.
Yeah, I did the work for you.
Thank you.
I got all of the. I got the list. Now, not for the last show.
I know.
Because I was in my garage, and that's, as you know, that's where I keep a lot of my spirits.
Right.
And
you really spent time putting that together.
I spent time. I spent time on the floor. Anyway, yes, I will send you the list.
Thank you.
All right. So, number 16, Esteban Carrera. So, Esteban Carrera makes a stick. When they first developed this stick, they had no idea what the exact blend was. So, they gave essentially what they want the flavor profile to be and what the experience should be for this stick. They went down to the factory, smoked it, and this is where they got the name. As the owners of the company smoked the stick, they said, "This is like crack." Now, I don't know if you have to PG or whatever the show now, but they now call this the Esteban Carrera Mr. Brownstone. And so
nice.
The Brownstone. The first thing that
if you're a fan, of Guns N' Roses, you get that reference.
Oh yeah, and that's where they got the name from.
Mr. Brownstone.
Mr. Brownstone.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And do you have that song?
And that's a full-bodied cigar.
It is. It's a full-bodied cigar, but what's very unique about it is very few cigars will put off a lot of smoke like a choo-choo train.
Like this?
Yeah. The Mr. Brownstone puts off a lot of smoke, so you will smoke out a room. Just to warn you, you'll smoke out the room that you're smoking in, but it's very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've smoked that, but it's been at least 3 or 4 years ago.
And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if within that time frame that this Vitola came out, but they have the Presidente.
How big is that? That sounds like an 8-incher.
You think so? But it is. Ready?
Yeah.
A 6x46.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a Corona.
Wow, I was thinking at least an 8-inch, probably by 40.
Yeah. It is, it's called the President's Own, and it is a nice, small ring gauge, decent length cigar.
Oh, well, I got to try that, because I've never had that one.
Yeah.
I had like a Toro or bigger.
Right.
Whatever that is.
I think it's the Robusto Grande.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember it was bigger.
Mm-hmm. Definitely try it. It is very good. One of those that must try cigars of this year. Followed by another Esteban Carrera. Now this one is new.
Okay.
So I know that when you and Bryant started this list, there are certain rules that it had to be available. You couldn't be like a stick from 1987.
Right.
That your grandfather gave you.
And you can't be really limited editions that are hard to get.
Exactly. So this one is new. It is coming out. I had the pleasure of actually smoking one, and this recently made the list. And not on the very bottom. I had to push it up to number 17. The Esteban Carrera Chupacabra 10th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So for those of you that are familiar with the Esteban Carrera cigars, you know that they incorporate the pigtail. In time, I believe those pigtails are going to go away, and it's just going to be a standard smooth cap.
Really?
Really.
I like the pigtails.
I like the pigtails too, but the boxing mechanism, or the way they box the cigars, is such a way that with the filler involved, when you pull that cigar out of the box, unless the shop has pulled the filler out, you rip the pigtail off more times than not.
Oh, really?
Because
they're not in cellophane.
And yes, and that is one of the biggest feedbacks they've received was those pigtails just come right off.
Yeah, because they're saturated in those oils, and when you put them in the box, it's like a glue almost, over time, so that when you pull them out, it just pulls the pigtail off.
Yeah,
and then you don't even have to cut it.
Right. It's more convenient. But you don't know exactly how long that's been sitting at the post office or at the depot. And so as it ages and dries a little bit, you pull that pigtail out, it just snaps right off. It's a clean snap for the most part, but still you lose that experience of having a pigtail.
Right.
So they decided, well, the 10th anniversary, we'll do a smooth cap. So be on the lookout for the Esteban Carrera Chupacabra 10th anniversary. That is a primo smoke.
And do you have it?
I have it on order.
Okay. Let me know when that comes in also, please.
I will.
I was thinking I'm making a list of what I'm picking up tomorrow.
Not this one.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Number 18 is the Romacraft Whiskey Rebellion out of the Intemperance line, Bradford. This one, I don't know if you've smoked before. It's more of the Robusto size. It's, I believe, a 5x54 or a 6x54. It's got a semi-bushy foot. It's a nice hard medium smoke.
Okay.
I would say hard medium because on the very last of the back third, it'll jump
Ramp up.
It'll ramp up. You get a lot of spice and pepper in there. But it is...
Is it full-bodied on the nicotine strength, or is it medium?
I classify it as full.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that most Roma crafts, I lean towards their full.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty strong cigars. Unless you get into, like, the Intemperance. But, like, the Cro-Magnum, what's the Tan Ban?
The Cro-Mag Tan Ban... Oh, the...
You know what I'm talking
There's
about.
not a tan ban in the Cro-Mag, but are you thinking about the Sabertooth?
No. You have the Intemperance...
Aquitaine. Yeah.
The Aquitaine is full-bodied. The Cro-Magnum is full-bodied. The Neanderthal is full-bodied. You know what I mean? They're not messing around.
They're not messing around. And their blends are exquisite.
Yes.
So, if you get to try one, Whiskey Rebellion Bradford.
Okay, I don't think I've had that one. I haven't had one with the curly foot.
The bushy foot?
The bushy foot. Curly foot, bushy foot. You know what I mean.
The curlies. The shortened curlies?
Yes.
All right. Next one is another boutique cigar. This one comes out of, I believe, Nicaragua. Or Bryant might know. Ohana. DR or Nicaragua?
Dude, I smoked the Ohana last week. I was in the shop, and you moved them because they're right next to my father's now.
They are, yes.
Yeah, and I don't know where they were before, but because you put them next to my go-tos, I was like, oh, I'm going to smoke one of those.
Yeah, so those
See, if
also,
you shuffle stuff around, I see stuff.
So those are also, unfortunately, we tried to have a boutique selection or section, and that just, there's so many.
I don't know how you can have a boutique selection. Half of your humidor is boutique.
Right.
So, there's no way to make a section just of boutiques.
Right. That's one of those things that what we'll do is we'll incorporate in 4.0. We'll have several humidors. We'll have Rob cigars.
You'll have multi-level
boutiques.
humidor.
Yeah. No, the Ohana Pulse Maduro.
Great stick. I smoked it last week.
Very good stick. So a long time ago, we carried the Ohana, and then they sort of fell off the map. And we kind of wrote it out. Bill sold the shop to us. We rebuilt it, rebuilt the humidor, brought Ohana back in. I remember, and it is the consistency of Ohana that it is the same as it was back in the day.
Oh, really?
I can't pinpoint any changes. The consistency with Ohana has been perfect.
Well, I can tell you when I smoked one last week, the construction was of beauty.
Yes.
And I was like, I like this stick. I haven't smoked it before.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I had one, I had smoked it with just black coffee, and it had paired so well that it has become a staple. If I'm just going to drink coffee all day, I'm going to have one.
I like it because, I drink coffee all day.
Yeah.
So. All right, what else you got?
All right. Okay, so we're going to hammer through the final count.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. How many's on the final count?
All right. So we're on number 20. So we got the 5, and if you want, the 6 honorable mentions.
Awesome.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. Firing it off here. Drew Estate Undercrown 10. That stick, chocolate.
Now, that's the new one.
It is.
Right. I don't think I've smoked it yet.
That one, if you smoke that one with a hot cup of black coffee, you are going to think you're drinking hot chocolate.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that stick, and I can't remember the other one, but it had just transitioned that coffee into just straight up hot chocolate.
What I will say about that cigar, even though I haven't smoked it, great presentation.
Yeah, with that gold ribbon
down the side,
yeah.
Great presentation.
Yeah.
And you can always count on Drew Estate for a great presentation.
Absolutely.
All right, what you got next?
Number 21, and Bryant knows, Roma Craft 2021 Craft. So they have two. They have two versions of this. They have one similar to the Sabertooth, one similar to the Black Irish. I prefer the Black Irish version, the Maduro with the Candela.
I think that's a beautiful stick.
It's a beautiful stick, absolutely. So this one's a Figurado.
Now, is the Black Irish a limited edition?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And exquisite.
Because they're not readily available all the time.
Not all the time, but particularly with the Craft 2021, I know we're just like in the gray area of the rules, but
Yeah.
a lot of shops have them. This year, Roma Craft did not release a list of shops that have the Craft, and so they didn't get bought out right away.
Nice.
And so a lot of shops still have, like the Leaf, they have Craft 2021.
Nice.
And it is just, it's a phenomenal stick. It's
all right. Well, there's one more for my list tomorrow.
there you go. And then the Oliva Master Blend number 3.
Great stick.
Great stick.
Great stick. I don't see that cigar on enough lists.
Right.
That's a really good stick.
Absolutely.
Because that is my second favorite Oliva. My first one is going to be the Melanio V.
Mm-hmm.
But those two cigars are two separate, different cigars. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Night and day.
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, this next one comes again from Roma Craft. It's the Aquitaine Sabertooth.
Great
Now,
stick.
It is a limited edition, but Sabertooth has been coming out the last few years in a row. There is a Sabertooth somewhere. You can buy a Sabertooth.
And to be fair, when we said they have to be available, it was not a one and done.
Oh, right.
So you can still get them.
Yes, you can still get them. Number 24. This one is hard to get a little bit because of production and availability of the materials involved. It is the Arturo Fuente Casa Cuba Divine Inspiration. Now this one, if you want to get a similar profile, you'll go with the, I would say the La Gloria Cubana Spanish Press, but the Divine Inspiration, that is probably a close second. Unless you're viewing it from the other side, then the Spanish Press is the close second. The Divine Inspiration has that floral sweetness to it. Very good cigar.
Okay.
And then finally, number 25. Martinez Flat Iron Maduro.
Great stick.
Great stick. Absolutely great. And I appreciate you most because you introduced that to me. And we finally hooked up with Martinez, and we carry that in the humidor now.
And if you haven't had it, that's one you should definitely try because it's different than most cigars.
Absolutely.
I mean, and just knowing that it came from New York and the Martinez family up there. It's like, when you look at it, it just looks different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you smoke it, and I'll tell you this, when I smoked one for the first time in many, many months, I was like, holy crap, this is actually a pretty strong cigar, too. It was not one that needs to be, like, thought of lightly. It was a full-bodied cigar, and the nicotine punch was, like, spot on. Well, that's definitely on my list, too. So what do you got next?
All right, next. Let's see what we got here. So next, after the Master Blend, the Sabertooth.
Yeah.
So after the Sabertooth, no.
We did the Master Blend.
We did Divine Inspiration.
Right, Divine Inspiration.
Okay. So next.
So in case everybody knows, Jay had to run out and pee. So that's why he doesn't know where he is. But go ahead, Jay.
I think we finished the 25 because the Flat Iron Maduro was number 25.
Awesome. So give us your honorable mentions.
All right, so honorable mentions, and I'll be pretty chill now because I just peed like 4 gallons of water.
You feel better.
I feel so much better.
Good.
Honorable mention number 1 is the Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Personal Reserve.
Oh, yeah. That's a good stick.
Great stick. It's got great presentation. It's a good stick to try. Like, if it's not cheap, it's not on the low end of the finances.
But it's not crazy expensive.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think everybody should try at least one. Now,
I would say that's one that you want to try 3 or 4 times. And it's got some complexity to it that you're going to miss if you just smoke it once.
Yeah. And there's different Don Carlos cigars. The Personal Reserve is just basically the Robusto size
of the Eye of the Shark.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Robusto size of the number 4. The story goes, as I'm told, that after some medical issues, his dad, I can't remember his name.
Grandpa
couldn't hold the cigar in his mouth, and so he needed a bigger size. And so that's where the 4 came from.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right.
Number 2, the Joya de Monterrey, El Torcedore.
I think that's a great stick.
Have you had one?
I have.
So that is a very good stick, and I'm glad that we brought those in. But again, it's such... Here's the thing. Our clientele looks for like the pop and the awe. But we have another portion of our clientele that are very just authentic and
right. And to me, that is like old school.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? When I see that stick, it's kind of like Buffalo Trace. Whatever they make is good because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Buffalo Trace doesn't make any shitty whiskeys.
Yeah. And
that's how I see Joya del Monterrey.
And for these folks, you look at the box, and here's the thing. And one of the pieces of wisdom that Bill disposed upon me was, if ever you come across a cigar that somebody's trying to get you to carry, look to see first if it's super flashy, if the presentation is super, super catchy. Now, it's a fine line. 1, you want to stand out to where you sell your product.
Right.
But 2, what you have to consider is your product good enough to sell itself, or do you lean on heavily?
And how much does all that flashy product design go into adding expense to a cigar? You know what I mean? You got to pay for that. Yeah. So sometimes...
Look at Gurkha.
So, what I was going to say, I mean, like the Joya de Monterrey, when you look at it, it's not flashy. When I look at that stick, it's like, that's old school.
Yeah.
And it's a great stick.
It's a great stick. The box is plain, as
It looks like they did 20 years ago.
It's a legitimate, just a box.
Right.
Yeah. So that would be my honorable mention number 2. Number 3, I put this on number 3 because it is very limited.
Okay.
But if you can get it, it is damn worth trying. It is so freaking good. If you are a fan of Drew Estate Maduros, the Unico line, Year of the Rat.
Never had it.
It comes in more of, I don't even know if it's a Lonsdale. It's a long Corona size. So it's I want to say it's a 42 by 7 or maybe 6. So it's Toro.
So it's almost a Lonsdale.
But skinny. Yeah. It's got gold foil wrap on the first 2/3. It's very beautiful. So again, going back to that eye catchiness, but it is worth it. Like that is, I think it just stands out because it's like, if you can see it, you know it's available, buy it and try it. Like, it's not worth sitting in the humidor and not smoking, just looking at it every day. It's the whole, do I savor? Do I save? Do I?
You know, I don't do that with any cigars.
I know you don't.
Whatever I've got, that's what I'm smoking.
I know. But that is a very good cigar to jump into and try. If you can get your hands on some, definitely go grab at least 1, maybe 2, as much as you can get.
Okay.
It's a good stick.
Nice. Good to know. Number 4.
Number 4. And this one we don't carry, at least not yet. But, you know, I've been going down to Fort Worth for my son.
Right.
And I found a hotel that's close to Good Karma.
Of course you did.
And the Aladino.
Oh, dude, the Aladino.
Aladino Corojo Reserva.
Oh, yeah.
You can find that stick. You buy yourself a box if you can afford it. Now, I'm not saying just take out a mortgage and buy a box. I want you to buy a box if you can afford it because it is worth it.
It is phenomenal.
Aladino.
Yeah, I'm a huge Aladino fan. And that's one I would love to see in the humidor because, and you named my favorite. The Corojo Reserva is, like, to me, the best. Now,
lights out.
Have you had their Cameroon?
I haven't.
I think you're going to want to try that next time. It's got the red Aladino band.
Oh.
And it's phenomenal. The Cigar Pulpit show has, their sponsorship is from Riverman's in St. Louis, and they carry them, and they sent us some. And how was it, Mr.? It was amazing.
Brian said delicious, so it's dang good.
But still, for me, he prefers the Cameroon. I still go with the Corojo Reserva. That stick is it's been a long time since I've been able to enjoy one of those.
I will say this again: the Leaf doesn't carry it, but show love to Brick and Mortar. Call Good Karma. Yeah,
you know who does carry it is Paladin in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
Great guys, Aaron and Matthew. Call them up. They will hook you up because they carry the full line of Aladinos.
Oh, there you go. You can get all of them.
Yeah, great guys.
Heck yeah.
All right, what else you got?
All right, ready?
Good choices.
So coming up number 5. This one a lot of people don't know of, or at least it's fallen off the map a little bit. It's the Oscar 2012 Barber Pole.
So we just had some of those in our gift bag from Sean.
Did you really?
Dude, Sean took care of us on that. And have you had the 2012, it's like a short Robusto box press? You know which one I'm talking about.
What Vitola? Was it Robusto?
It's a Robusto box press.
Okay, yeah.
Great stick.
You know we have those.
No, I did not know that. Where are those at in the humidor?
Right underneath AJ Fernandez.
Thank you. Awesome.
But great stick. Everybody that smokes cigars, that's tasted Candela in its purest form, knows how punchy it is. when you barber pole that with a Maduro or a Habano,
really
and it
mellows
just really
it out.
mellows it out.
Because I can't smoke a Candela.
Yeah.
A straight up Candela. I remember when we smoked them on the show one time. And as I was toasting the foot, I was like, that smells funky.
Yeah. It does smell funky. And I will say one thing about Candela. It is such a fragile wrap.
Really?
It'll crack. It'll pop. But if you can supplement it with something else and it holds its integrity.
So the Maduro really solidifies that wrapper.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because in general, Maduros are a thicker, more robust wrapper in the first place.
Yeah. And I've seen even Connecticut wrappers that stand up to normal, I would say either normal cutting or normal, not dropping, but just setting down a lot better than most Candelas. Candelas, if you jostle it in any way, some of the blends, you're going to just expect cracks because you can't ocularly see these micro fractures that transpire. But as you burn it and the tobacco breathes...
Well, and that's good to know because it's really just one of the side effects of being a Candela.
Yeah.
That's just... And so you're not really experiencing a bad cigar. That's just part of it.
Right.
So if you expect that, you're not going to be like bent out of shape about it.
Exactly. So if you have a Candela and it cracks on you, don't be butthurt. It's a fragile wrap, but you're still going to get that flavor profile.
And I take that same look at cigar companies that build cigars with some like real fine thin wrappers because it gives you a different overall flavor profile. Mm-hmm. But it's like if I know that going in, if I get a crack in it, I don't get pissed because that's part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally different. You got to know your product.
Exactly. So you got to know what you're getting into before you even light it up.
Right. I mean, if you light one up and it starts cracking, you get pissed. You're like, well, you didn't know what you didn't know.
Yeah, it goes back to the experience. Like, what's the presuppositions that you're coming in with?
Right.
Versus what you're ultimately going to experience. If you don't... this is a good point in the show to point out the fragility of the Candela. Because if you smoke a Candela and it doesn't crack, that's awesome. But just know that the Candelas you smoke, because of their fragility, they may crack. Don't shove it off and don't throw it in the ashtray saying it's a crap cigar. You're still going to get that flavor. You're still going to get that experience. It's just not going to look pretty.
That's why I always carry duct tape.
I got to get you onto Pectin. Duct tape.
All right. What's your last one?
All right. And finally, this one I typically post online as hashtag cigar treasures.
Oh, wow. I'm intrigued.
And I've only posted, I think, 3 or 4 hashtag cigar treasures.
Okay.
We have come across, through careful excavation of our backstock room,
oh, I know where you're going with this.
several boxes of the Room 101 Payback.
Which have just been aging.
We have been aging this cigar since 2017.
Wow.
It's so good. I thought, what the hell is this?
So already they're aged when they get to the shop, and now you've added 4 years of just perfectly humidification
Yes.
and time.
Yes. And so when you smoke one, just know it may be a different experience if you have one from
Somewhere else.
previous years. This one has been well kept since 2017. So that's my experience with the Payback. And so on my list is the Room 101 Big Payback from 2017. It says
Nice. Nice.
from 2017.
Hey, and I tell you what, Bryant brought me one. So thank
Did he
you,
really?
Bryant. He did. Because He
Nice.
told me how you screwed me and you gave him one and didn't give me one.
What?
That was verbatim what you said.
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry if I did.
I'm serious. So anyway, hey man.
Here, you can have this.
No,
somebody left this.
Oh
on the
yeah,
table.
somebody left that one just laying there. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now I got two.
Brian's gonna fight you.
hey. Okay, I thought he had his pistol in his hand.
He looks like he
I
does.
thought he had his phone in his hand. I was like, dude, serious. I'm kidding. So, hey, man, thanks for coming on the show and giving us your list. I know a lot of people asked me about it and they wanted to get that. So we appreciate you taking the time coming on the show. And we're going to be doing the Patreon show next, the Light 'em Up crew.
Light 'em up.
We want to say thank you to all our Patreons. If you'd like to support the show, look in the show notes. You can become a Patreon. We also do an after show that's just for those guys. And so, hope you enjoyed the show this week. And until next time,
Keep smoking.
boom.